from the leaks, we have the only cut evolution, the only cut mega evolution ever. So all the other megas actually succeeded, with the exception of maybe Flygon. I guess Flygon, I don't know if you can count Flygon as a cut mega, but this mega intended to be a thing and was cut at some point late in the process because there's actual resources to prove that it exists. So Central Mega Jinx was confirmed as a cut mega in X and Y. It had Magic Guard as its ability. So I can kind of see that. Ice Psychic with Magic Guard. I can totally see that. Now, we have more proof that you know, Jinx was real. So this was an old data mine from when Pokemon Home came out. And this was from Matt. It says, let's start with some of my findings with Pokemon Home. Mysteriously within the app's sound directory data exists a cry similar to Jinx's. In the video, the first cry played is Jinx's, and the second is unknown. It sounds like the same reverb a Mega Evolution would have. So essentially, basically, that would have been the cry for Mega Jinx, you know. So yeah, so looks like this is real. But so of course, I mean, if you don't know the situation with Jinx, then you wouldn't really understand why Mega Jinx got cut. So years ago, back in I believe the 90s or the early 2000s, there was a children's author, a black female children's author, and she got mad because her kids wanted Pokemon stuff for Christmas, and they didn't necessarily pay a great deal of attention to her work. And so she saw Jinx, you know, in the Pokédex, and decided to make a racial thing out of it. She tried to get Pokemon canceled, I guess is the way you would classify it now. So she wanted to make a racial thing out of this. She wanted to say that Jinx was a racial stereotype, when in actuality Jinx is more connected to Japanese culture than it is to anything in America. So Jinx was actually based off of Gyaru girls. So Gyaru girls were based off of a old Japanese subculture from back in the early 90s that was basically supposed to run counter to normal Asian beauty standards of, you know, making yourself, you know, lightening your skin, being very prim and proper and very submissive. Whereas Gyaru girls were very outgoing. They like to club, like to go party, and they like to darken their skin. And that was what Jinx was based off of. But of course, you know, how can you expect an American children's author to know that, you know? And she's not going to do the research. She's just going to go off of what she sees and the opportunity she has, because, you know, she has a chance to get at Pokemon. And so that's basically what she did. But, you know, the way, whenever something comes down to race in America, it usually gets really weird really fast. So they changed Jinx's color. So Jinx was originally black and not purple. They changed her to purple so she wouldn't be, you know, looking like the racist caricatures in America. And then that's it. Jinx is now persona non grata, like Porygon. Okay? Alright, Porygon and Jinx will never get like alternate forms or like megas, like Gigantamax. They're never gonna get any of that because there have been issues with those Pokemon. They're allowed to exist, but that's it. Alright, because we all know what happened with Porygon back in the day. Okay, alright, you know, Porygon was catching bodies. Okay, so we know why he's persona non grata, but Jinx is persona non grata because people saw her as a racial stereotype. And so that's more than likely why they cut her mega. Because having a mega Jinx and would have brought attention to Jinx, which would have brought the controversy back up again.